Every time you choose comfort over growth, you're paying a price that doesn't come up on any bank account, but it's costing you your dream, your future, and your potential. Dreaming small isn't safety. It is slow suicide to your ambitions. Today, we're going to discuss the real tax that you're paying by staying in your comfort zone, and I promise you the number is going to shock you. This isn't about making you feel bad. This is about waking you up to the incredible life that's on the other side of those boundaries that you set for yourself. Growing up in my 20s, I was so ambitious. I had so many things I wanted to do. I had so many goals I wanted to accomplish. And when I got to my 30s and I looked back and I realized that a lot of them I didn't really do. I didn't really even be able to take the action to get started. I ended up looking down at myself and I started to ask myself, what is it that I need to be doing? How is it that I can start to change my strategy to be able to start to accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish? And what I didn't realize is that I had the right goals, I was just doing them wrong. And I knew I needed to start to take smaller steps to be able to achieve the bigger dreams that I wanted. And what was interesting is that I found other people that I spoke to who were taking small steps, but they were also dreaming small. And that's something that I knew I didn't want to do. And the first thing that we have to understand when it comes to dreaming big is that by taking small steps, we're going to get to the place that we want. How many times have we had a goal for ourselves? And maybe we didn't even have a time limit on it. But if we look back 5 years or 6 years, you know what? I wish we would have done it by then. I'm recently working with a client of mine who wants to create an online course. And he's somebody who has a specialty in a specific field, and he wants to create this course to be able to help other people. Other people are asking him for the course. And what's interesting is that he had this idea for years. He has notes on it for years, but for some reason, he can't get himself to do it. And when I asked him, when would he want to create this course by? He said years ago. And I think for so many of us, we get so stuck, but if he would have just spent an hour a week from the time that he really wanted to create that course, he would have been so much further along, and most likely he would have been done with the course. We need to ask ourselves, what are those small steps that we can start to take? Instead of putting the pressure of achieving the goal, let's take the action and allow the goal to come to us wherever it is that we are. So look to take small steps in order to get started, and then we're going to be able to hit the goal. But what's interesting when it comes to small steps, and this brings me to my second point, is that if we can look to take small steps every day, the discipline and the consistency is going to help us achieve the goal that we're looking for. So many people get so stuck because they don't know what it is they need to be doing. They don't know how it is they're supposed to be taking action, and they don't realize that once they figure out the action they need to be doing, how consistent they have to be. Because at the end of the day, if you work out in the gym for 5 hours on one day and then don't work out the rest of the month, it's not going to do anything for you. We all need to be disciplined and we need to be consistent. And more than anything, we need to be able to fight that mindset, that feeling that we have inside and is pulling us down to say, hey, you know what? Take it easy, relax a little bit. Because there's so many of us, we take too much vacation. We have too much downtime. We're constantly distracted. And how much focus time do we really have? You know, nowadays they have all these trackers on your phone to tell you what apps you are on your phone. But imagine if we were able to have a tracker that told us how productive we would be. I wonder which one would actually be a little bit scarier, because on the one hand, we're so distracted. On the other hand, we're so not productive. And that's what we're trading our time with. Another thing that happened to me all the time when I was in my 20s is that I kept getting distracted by the big stuff. I kept trying to make this massive leap. And because I was trying to make this leap, I wasn't able to move forward at all. Each bite that I was trying to take was bigger than I can chew, and because of that, I wasn't moving the needle. I would have these massive ideas of running these big events and having people come and having thousands of people and whatnot, and I never even did an event in my life. And it doesn't mean I couldn't do it, but I would have to build up to it, and by slowly building up, that would enable me to be able to do the things that I wanted to do. But for so many of us, we set such a goal for ourselves, and because of that, we're not able to really accomplish the things that we want to be able to accomplish. So ask yourself, what are those small steps I need to be taking? And yes, we should plan our goal and reverse engineer to what we need to be doing today. But once we plan our goal, we don't think about the goal. We just let it come to us. We're going to have to pivot and think about it once in a while. But if we're constantly thinking about it every single day, a lot of times it's just going to stress us out because we're going to see how far we are away from it. Look to focus on the discipline of what action you need to take and just put most of your energy into that. Another thing that held me back so much is that I kept thinking that I needed to do more. I needed more money. I needed more contacts. I needed all these things. And what I realized is that I have enough resources around me. I had what it is that I needed, but I just wasn't able to utilize them as much as I thought I would. And I had those contacts and I was able to get money if I really wanted it. But for some reason, I wasn't able to see it like that. I kept making these quote unquote excuses in order to be able to accomplish things and realizing, hey, you know what? It's not really something that is legit. I am actually just tricking myself. And what I realized once I was able to say, hey, you know what? It's about being resourceful and not about the resources I have, and learning that skill, that is going to be the thing that's going to help me be able to succeed, instead of just complaining all the time that I need this, I need that, and nothing ever getting done. So stop saying you need to be doing more, having more things in your life. Where you are right now is enough for you to keep moving and taking that next step. The fact that you keep saying that you want more and more shows that you're not focusing in the present moment and the next item you need to be doing, and you're focusing on something in the future which you don't have control over. My last and final tip is to understand how important our own personal development is. Because wherever we are in life, if we can start to work on who it is we are at the core, that is going to translate for the rest of our lives in every single area of our life. And that is something which I wholeheartedly believe. Because no matter where you are, if you are a confident person, if you know the skills to be able to become more confident, you are going to be more confident in your business, in your personal life, in your health, in all areas, because you know what is necessary for it to become. If you want to become a more decisive person, that's going to be able to help you in all areas of your life. If you want to be less anxious and you want to be having a higher self-esteem, all of these specific keys are important for us to be able to grow, to become somebody in order to do more in our lives. We need to ask ourselves, what is it we need to be doing and working on ourselves in order to develop the skills that we want to be developing? Because once we have that, once we know what that is, then it's game over. Because no matter which arena we're thrown into, we have the tools that we're going to need in order to develop and to become the person that we want to become. So ask yourself, what are those things that I need? What do I need to be working on in order to increase my value as a person, not my self-worth, but as a value to me as a person, in order to be able to become more successful? Ask yourself and start working on that. And what's cool is you don't need to wait till you're the CEO or a multimillionaire in order to become that person. You can work on that person right now and allow yourself to be able to invest in your future by doing those things. And if you're somebody who's scared and you have all these fears that creep up and don't let you take the action, make sure to take a look at this next video where we talk about how your fears are holding you back.